Alright, I got 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. I'm going to start with the policy and conduct at meetings. The public is invited to speak on any item under discussion by the council after recognition by the presiding officer. The speaker should stand and, for the record, give his or her name and, if applicable, the person, firm, or organization he or she represents. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes unless approval by the presiding officer, and citizens requesting to speak shall limit him or herself to matters of fact regarding the issue of concern. Prepared statements are welcomed and should be given to the clerk of council. Prepared statements that are also read, however, shall be deemed unduly repetitious. And all prepared statements shall become part of the hearing record. While the council is in session, those in attendance must preserve order of decorum. A member shall no delay or interrupt the proceedings or the peace of the council, nor disturb any member while speaking or refuse to obey the orders of the council or its presiding officer. Any person making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks, or who shall become boisterous or disruptive during the council meeting, shall be forthwith barred from further presentation to the council by the presiding officer, unless permission to continue be granted by the presiding officer or a majority vote of the council. The Alberton Town Council reserves the right to amend these rules of procedure as deemed necessary. So when you guys are discussing, just bring it to the council. We want to try to keep no conversation amongst each other, and we are being recorded by audio. Let's go ahead and have a productive meeting. So let's start with the reading and the approval of minutes.
The minutes from October 7th meeting. Council Presidents Mayor Anna LaDuke, Council Members Marvin Garding, Sharon Briggs, Betsy Hugelman, and Kyle Sorrentioni. Mayor LaDuke read the council rules of conduct. The minutes motion to approve the minutes was made by Kyle, Marvin second, and all approved. The claims were discussed in the amount of $84,280.11. Motion to approve the claims was made by Kyle, Betsy second, and all approved. Maintenance reports. Marvin Garding said he plans on raking leaves near the office. Sprinklers are being turned off for this season, and he is prepping for winter. Water and sewer, Charlie Jenkins. An electrical overload on one sewer blower went out. We ordered another one from the electrician, which should work for now. We will need to discuss options on this system in the future. New tires were put on the skid steer. And last 2 days, there was a sewer backup at Adams Trailer Court. It was determined to be a service line break with an old leak from trees. There will be a sprinkler system evaluation with RC in the spring. And there's no public comment. Water project, Paul Montgomery. The water project is winding down. Some quantity overruns were addressed. There will be one more change order coming. The project was funded with 8 different funding sources, and they are prepping closeout reports. The PPA for RLC was presented for approval for $916,157.58. Motion to approve the claim was made by Kyle, Marvin second, and all approved. No public comment. Under quarterly reports, Sheriff Sergeant Allard said he had 82.25 hours. Crime has decreased in the past month. MHP assisted with DUI drugs in the town this weekend. Interviews begin next week for vacancy. The county planner, Andy Short, will serve letter was requested for the Wales subdivision. Clerk said that the property owner has not requested a will serve letter from the town. Clerk told the property owner to stop into the office with his plans for the subdivision. Old business, local government review volunteers still needed. No public comment. New business, Josh Acker wanting approval for a building zoning request for his property on 3rd Street. Council reviewed the documents presented, and Marvin asked Charlie about water sewer access. Charlie thought it may work okay. Acker needs a variance request and said he would have a variance request the next morning. Raised for Clerk Nancy Tome and Charlie Jenkins. Due to conflict of interest, Marvin Garding had to recuse himself from this topic. Sharon Briggs said that the clerk cannot get a raise because she is supposed to be paid on salary and it needs to be proposed in a resolution. Nancy's raise and Charlie's raise and promotion, due to lack of new job description, were postponed to a special meeting on 10/14 at 7 p.m. Andy Short commented that the Acker lot is zoned for general commercial, which will allow for a duplex. Kyle motioned to approve the Acker duplex, Marvin second, and all approved. No clerk notes. Public comment. Kim Garding asked about the ordinance book being returned to the library. Lorraine Felstedt requests that Bear Smart be listed under quarterly reports section. Mayor LeDuc said they would look into it. Seth Troyer from the Northwest Indian Bible School introduced himself to the group. Pan Smith recently purchased a property in town and would like to ask about getting water and sewer. Mayor LeDuc told him to stop in the office for more information. Sharon Briggs brought up town ordinances and asks who can enforce them. Mayor LeDuc suggests to call the sheriff's office. Lorraine Felstedt said that the town can write a letter to the offender. Mayor said we will take that under consideration. And Carrie Reeby stated that there are two sides to an argument and they should come to council to discuss. Kyle motioned to adjourn the meeting. Sharon second, all approved. The meeting was adjourned at 8:26 p.m.
Do I have any public comment on those minutes as read? Yes, Lorraine.
Lorraine Felstedt, I recall Nancy talking about the PBS contacting her regarding the governance review. And I liked what you said and thought it would be a nice little putting to bed of the issue by saying they interviewed you and that it's not whatever, how you said it really nice.
Yeah, it was just that they said that it was we weren't the only one that didn't have volunteers, that there were other towns as well, and it was a really great interview. I learned a lot from it.
So I would like if that could be included, just to be, because
Okay.
I see it's been removed from our old business. That way we can maybe put it to bed.
Okay.
No problem.
Any other public comment for the minutes as read? Alright, with that adjustment, adding, how exactly are you adding that wording, Nancy?
Yeah, I got it. I can add the statement back.
Okay.
Sure.
With adding Nancy's statement back in under the local government review, do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, October 7th minutes are approved with the statement added. Alright, now next
Yeah.
special meeting?
October 14th, the special meeting. Present was Mayor Anna LeDuc, Sharon Briggs, Betsy Hugelman, Kyle Sorrentioni. Mayor LeDuc read the council rules of conduct. And the old business is Mayor LeDuc read the notes provided by Clerk Nancy Tome and Mayor LeDuc, which contained information and laws provided by MMIA and local government services regarding the salary versus hourly issue brought up at the last council meeting on October 7th. Sharon Briggs apologized for not knowing that 2 prior clerks had been paid hourly, including a raise approved by council. Lorraine Felstedt asked which ordinance number was the discussion about. Clerk said 2-1-7. Resolution 349 was read by Mayor LeDuc, giving Clerk Nancy Tome $3 raise. Motion to approve the resolution was made by Betsy. Kyle second, all approved. Resolution 348 was read by Mayor LeDuc, giving Matthew Jenkins a $3 pay raise and a job title of Public Works Wastewater Manager. Job descriptions were reviewed by the council. Betsy requested that the supervision of mayor be replaced with reports to the mayor. Kyle motioned to approve with the replacement. Betsy second, all approved. Public comment, Lorene asked about how to look into building permits and where to find the info. Clerk commented that the ordinances are online and she can access all of the rules there. Motion to adjourn the meeting was made by Kyle, Betsy second, and all approved.
Do I have any minute, or any public comment on the special meeting minutes as well? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
All first.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Well, let's move on to claims. Has everybody had a chance to go in the claim, or to look over the claims for the amount of $11,476.91? Do I have a motion to approve those claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second it.
Somebody has something to say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Claims in the amount of $11,476.91 have been approved. Alright, let's move on to maintenance updates. Marvin, do you have any updates for us?
Not really. I'm gonna start painting the inside of the old fire hall tomorrow,
Nice.
just to spruce it up. That's about all I've got going right now.
Alright. Sounds good. Does anybody have any questions for Marvin? Alright. Let's move on to water and sewer updates with Charlie, and it looks like under there we have an approval of emergency sewer. Do we wanna get the updates from you first or go for the approval?
We can jump right to the approval.
Okay, so we have an approval of emergency sewer cleanout invoice at the Adams Trailer Park. Do you wanna explain to them kinda like what we're going at with this, so with the invoice, like explain it?
Sure. There was a backup down there at the trailer court to the point where there was raw sewage coming out of one of the cleanouts, and so we went down and assessed the situation, and it was kind of the possibility was thought that when RLC tracked in to dig in the meter pit for trailer number 7, that perhaps they ran over the sewer line and it was caused the sewer line to break and therefore causing the clog. But in that moment on Monday when we arrived or whatever, it was like the first thing we need to do is try to get the clog out. So we were there with the property owner, Mike, and we tried to snake the sewer line basically all day from many different cleanouts and could not get the leak or the clog to pop. So basically after all day of trying, I called Brown Septic, and I called 3 different septic companies or whatever. Brown's was able to respond that evening, so they came out, went ahead and snaked and got it through a clean out that we didn't know existed, because by that time it was like 7 o'clock at night. My homeowner came home and was like, I have a clean out, and it was like, okay. That was definitely the key. However, that was not the end of the issue. The issue persisted all week. We ended up excavating down, and where the clay service line was, it had been broken. It was also broken before, because the amount of mass of roots that were around it from a tree that does not longer exist there. But I don't think that was any piece of the sewer pipe went down the sewer. It seemed like everything was still there, and it was definitely broken and leaking. But we excavated that out, went ahead and cut that out. But there was then trailer 7 and 8. They were backed up when the rest of the trailer park was operating sufficiently. And when we excavated down and sectioned out that sewer pipe, I have this like sewer line kind of stabber, but it's a 1-inch poly line basically that I put a metal end on, and it's 65 feet long, and I ran it all the way down there and I couldn't feel anything. So I called Jamie again, the property owner. She had a different company come out, and that guy snaked it that night. 2 days later, or maybe the next day, the original clean out had come up. So then Jamie again called that secondary guy, and I said, look, we need to do a very thorough job, because this is obviously quite an issue. What he found was he snaked and cameraed, and it was found that roots were the cause in many different places. So it's a tough deal where I feel like, because I made the call on Monday to get Browns to come out, and because of all of the subsequent bills that Jamie had to put forth for this issue, if the town would be willing to cover Browns, she had 2 more bills that were probably further than that in terms of cost. And I also met with Andy Short out there and talked to him about it, and he went ahead and wrote a letter to Jamie stating that something is probably going to need to be done to fix this. Probably a new sewer service line run through the entire length of the trailer court and attaching all of the trailers. So that's why I feel like she's up against a lot, and I just am asking if the town would be willing to pay the first bill on her behalf.
Is that 527?
517.
Oh, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have any public comment before council makes a decision on this invoice?
Which trailer park is it?
The east
The
end
one
of
I
town.
signed.
Yes.
Doesn't it set a standard for, if you're gonna cover the cost for one homeowner, that you, doesn't that kind of, I don't know, seems like to me.
Well, and it's a thing where, like, we thought it was on us in the beginning, and Charlie made that call without consulting the owner for that call, so we felt maybe we should cover this one that we made the call on.
Yeah.
Well, I think since Charlie used his own discretion on it, and we're trusting him to make the decisions, I think that, I don't know if it would set a precedent, but I don't know. Charlie made the call, he's our new water manager, water sewer manager, so. I think we should approve it.
Well, if he made the call, let's say I have a backed up sewer and he makes the call, and then it's because I have a tree with a big root, and it's my fault, it's my problem, right? I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but
Yeah.
I didn't plant the trees that are clogging up her sewer lines.
Yeah,
The town didn't either.
it really is. It is a service line. It's not, we could find no fault in the sewer main. There was nothing wrong with the lift station.
And it wasn't RLC's driving their backhoe over that caused the tree root.
Nobody could find any evidence of that. And we did excavate down. I mean, we spent all day Monday trying to snake, and then it was Tuesday we excavated down, cut out the broken part of the service line that was perhaps damaged. but it was damaged before for sure. But we went ahead and sectioned that out, fixed that also. So it is, I don't know. I feel both ways about it for sure. Yep.
If you hadn't made the call, Charlie, what would have happened?
The property owner would have made the call.
I thought it was that
Right.
from the
Okay,
main.
guys, we haven't been stating our names or anything, we need to make sure we're stating our names and calling on,
Sure.
and calling on public comment. Do we have any other public comment?
I'm Kim Garding and I represent, I'm a homeowner, and I thought from the main, or from the street up to your property was our responsibility. I thought that was a given. Isn't that what, I thought it was just standard for, that's what I thought. And I am correct? I believe you. Very often. So, that's all.
Do I have any other public comment? Do I have any questions from council, any more questions from council for Charlie before making a decision? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve or deny this invoice?
Well, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the Browns invoice for $517.50. Do I have a second?
Not for me.
No.
No. Unfortunately, I do feel like this could happen to any of us, and we would have to pay it.
That's fine. So the motion to approve the invoice is no, with no second to back it up. So the invoice is a no. Alright. And then now let's go ahead and get any water updates from you, Charlie.
Okay. I feel like these last couple weeks we have been excavating quite a bit before the season is end. There's a handful of things that needed to be fixed. We had a leaking service line on Rose Hill, and to reinvestigate the sewer line up there at 802. It was kind of basically back in the spring when we excavated to try to find the main. We found pinhole leaks in the service line from between the main and the curb stop. So that I knew was going on since the spring and just have not had time to get to it. So we did end up getting up there and fixing that. There was 3 different curb stops that were damaged in places. They're really old, and it was like in the streets, and definitely seemingly like probably plowing the snow was the situation. So we got all 3 of those dug up. One of them actually ended up being not a curb stop that actually went to anywhere, and we dug down on that over on Parkway, and it's something that was abandoned but stuck up and sure looked like it was real. And so we found that out. We've been dealing with the meters quite a bit, trying to get the sending units to communicate, and we had a training with the master meter company, and Core and Main came out for that as well. And they showed us The computer program, the software, and some of the things that everybody's account and some of the ins and out on that for sure. I feel like Nancy got way more out of it and is teaching me things about it for sure. But in terms of the communicating, some of the sending units are just having a tough time communicating, or they will communicate one week and then they won't, and they're supposed to basically communicate every single day. So we've been doing a couple things, and the master meter people, when they came and talked to us, it was kind of like told us how to orient the things, and they should be facing up. And there's a lot of places that, even though a lot of them were mounted sideways, they communicate just fine, but there was a handful that have been causing issues. So we've been going back into houses and fixing a bunch of those. So there's that. In terms of the Acker build on 3rd Street, there is a 10-foot utility easement on the south side of the property. And I'm looking at the zoning ordinances and a 7.5-foot setback from that. Everything that I could see, the building will fit in there, but it's going to be quite tight. And the sewer is in that easement. It's about 12 feet down. It was installed in 2000, and so it's relatively new and shouldn't be an issue, but to dig down 12 feet in a 10-foot utility easement with a building very close, that one it's going to be tough if we ever have an issue right there, for sure. But I'm going to go back and talk to Haskins tomorrow and kind of explain to him everything that I found about the 10-foot easement and the 7.5-foot setback from the eave of the roof, and see what he talks about on that. In terms of Pan Smith and his property on 6th Street, I talked to Wally and looking into getting an easement across 107 5th Street. That was kind of what Wally deemed to be the most, the easiest and most effective way to get water and sewer over to that property. It's just one of those things where this old town and platted in Chicago, and the roads that do not exist up the mountain. So I will meet with the homeowner on that I think next week. It's sometime next week, and I think Wally's going to be there for that as well. And then, other than that, roads, we have been getting material from RLC and starting to trying to get all the roads that were disturbed in the construction project rehabbed and straightened out. And so we've been spreading material on those sites. And that is about all I got.
Well, thanks for that update. Let's go ahead and do water project updates, and then we'll open up questions for both you guys when we're done with the water project updates, and we just summarize together, so if everybody has questions for both you guys at the same time.
We are
Is it
team.
intertwined? Yeah. Alright, so do you wanna give us the water project updates, Paul?
Yes, Paul Montgomery with Anderson Montgomery Consulting Engineers. I apologize for the fits and starts on this engineer's report. I sent you one that had a couple of errors in it. I hope everybody has the updated one. And I'm just gonna hit the high points here because there hasn't been a lot that's changed since the last report, until we get a little bit further down my bullet list here. Processed RLC's pay application number 7, that was done last month. The status of the funding sources has not changed since October, but we'll be talking about some of these specific numbers in just a little bit in more detail. Your contract with us has not changed. We haven't submitted another invoice, but we will be doing that this month, for your consideration during December's town council meeting. And there will also be a final RLC pay application for your December meeting as well. Talk about change orders a little bit. We've got 3 approved change orders, and there is 1 more pending change order, which will be number 4, and it'll reconcile all the unit quantities. The total construction project cost will be $2.97 million. And note, over this last month, I've put some work into refining the reconciliation of the unit quantities and identifying the additional work that RLC is going to be doing. And so when everything shakes out here, there's about $97,000 less than what I estimated the final project cost would be as of last month. So $97,240 to the good. And I'll explain that number in a little bit here too. The final change order, number 4, is going to be for minus $45,836. Again, that's largely due to reconciling all of the unit quantities that were in the original bid. So for a final change order amount, cumulative change order amount from change orders 1 through 4 will be about $112,300, which is just under 4% of the original project bid. Like I mentioned last month, we try to keep things less than 5%, so this actually, I think we did pretty good on this project. The total remaining funds to get us to the finish line is $353,700. The remaining expenditures, including our contract and RLC's final pay application, that's a cumulative amount of expenditures of $185,425. So we will have we'll be under budget by about $168,000. So you look at the $185,425 there, the remaining expenditures. If you go back up to the status of the funding sources, the ARPA minimum allocation grant has $14,110 in it. The ARPA competitive grant has about $141,800 in it. And then the SRFA forgiven principal has $29,727. These are all, I won't say free money for you guys, but you're entitled to those grant funds whether you spend them or not. Okay. If you add all those 3 together, you got $185,640, which will cover all the remaining expenditures for the project. So the good news is you shouldn't have to dip into your local share of $135,784. You had committed $150,000 of local funds. That's just your kick-in. We shouldn't have to expend those. You will walk away with a loan of $298,000 for a $3-point-some million project. Not bad. Lastly, on this page, the town is, like Charlie mentioned, purchasing about 400 cubic yards of road mix. RLC is hauling it in for $41 a yard. Anticipated cumulative cost of $16,400. And that is already calculated into the numbers that I just gave you. Okay? Okay, project status, construction issues. All the project elements are largely completed, with the exception of hauling in the road mix. There's some meters that still have to show up and be installed. They're oversized meters. And then the fencing up at the spring box, which is gonna be completed next week, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have prepared and submitted closeout reports for the Montana Coal Endowment Program grant. That was the $750,000 grant, as well as ARPA, the competitive and minimum allocation grant. Those have been submitted. We're working on closeout reports for the SRF loan and forgiven principal and the DNRC grant. Remaining work that we still have to do is we have to put together as-built drawings. We put together a project manual that has all of the inspection reports, all of the testing, all of the photographs and so forth. So you'll have that on record. So if Charlie needs to look at what happened at 152 Railroad, he'll have a curated set of photographs to look at as well as as-bills, which I think in this town will be a tremendous step up, right? And then lastly, there's gonna be 1 to 2 more pay packages as we complete our work. But RLC will be done as of the next pay package, this pay package 20. And that's it.
All right, do we have any questions from the public for Charlie or yes, Lori?
Green Costa, I had understood there was a transponder error and that, or something to that effect, and that a neighboring, this question for Charlie, a neighbor's transponder was telling a meter false information. This happened to a neighbor of mine. It sounds like a mystery.
In terms of the absolute cluster that happened in terms of us getting the hex ID off of the sending unit, there was 2 different photographs. We had 4 different people taking photographs of those hex ID numbers. They're like a 20-digit number. And there was 2 that got doubled. And we figured it out and worked it out and got, basically had to go back and confirm with the 4 different places, like which one was true for which one. And so, yeah.
It was just an anomaly then.
Yeah, it was 4 different people taking photographs, trying to organize all that information, and but it seems like every single resident has a hex ID now, and they're all straightened out. The only thing that's really going on now is there's a handful that are not sending the information, and it's because it's basically like a cell phone. So if they are, one of them is the Methodist Church over here, and their meter is all the way down in the basement, and you're talking concrete walls, and it's underneath the stairs or whatever. So if there's a ton of stuff in the way, it has a hard time to reach its destination, connect and make a signal. So what I did was I ordered 6 10-foot long, basically extension cords that I can plug onto the meter, and they come with the meter comes with like a 2-foot width, or the sending unit comes with like a 2-foot cord on it, and then the meter comes with a 4-foot cord. So you got 6 foot anyway, but if it's not enough to get it up to an elevation or closer to some kind of window or the exterior of the building, for it to make the signal happen, we talked to Master Meter, and they are like, okay, we can get you some essentially extension cords to lengthen that. And so we have a few of those to put in, but other than that, everything is working. So far, yeah.
Do we have any other questions for Paul or Charlie?
Wait, I do have
Oh,
something.
yeah.
We might have a change and I know Paul can't stay. What do you think? You think you can do it?
So the customer portal feature for the meters, the metering system, I mean, when we first got it quoted, it was almost $13,000. RLC, or Master Meter, provided a new quote to RLC, and RLC said we can do it for $7,500. $7,705. But then Nancy was dealing directly with Core and Main, or Master Meter, the suppliers, and they said they could do it for $6,700. So I'm going to find out from the funding agencies if it's okay to directly purchase that customer portal rather than going through RLC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have an answer hopefully by the end of the week.
Okay. Are we saying we wanna jump to, is that what this approval on the business
It was
is?
gonna be, he just gave me the update about the possibility of being able to do this, so that was not.
Okay.
Paying for it out of, with grant funds rather than the town paying for it.
Okay,
So we can hold.
Oh,
Because
it.
there's
We'll
gonna be,
just hold
there's
it.
gonna be some extra money.
so we don't have to do this?
No,
Because it's part of the funding now.
If you can just sit on it for a little bit, we can get an answer.
Okay,
perfect.
sounds good. Thanks for that update. Nobody has any more questions for Paul or Charlie? All right, thank you.
Is it okay if I excuse myself?
Yes,
I will not be here next month.
thank you for your updates.
Thank you.
I'm getting a shoulder replacement.
Oh, fine. All right, let's go ahead and move on to quarterly reports. We got the sheriff's department. Give us your update.
Sure. I'm Sergeant Allard with the Sheriff's Office. The sheriff sends his regards. He's feeling a little under the weather. He's been dealing with a cold that won't go away. So I basically had to force him. He said, let me come here for him. So, but he sends his regards. Yeah, October we had 84.25 patrol hours in town. We had 80 total calls for the month. I'm not sure what it was in September. Does anybody know that?
I think it's 82 hours.
80. How many calls for service?
Oh,
90,
Somebody
sorry,
has it.
70 calls.
70 calls for service? Okay. So we've been trying to stay proactive and justify the hours that we spend here, so traffic stops and I patrolled around for Halloween, so we were present and everybody got to see us, so hopefully Halloween finished off pretty good, so yeah, just picking away at it and trying to be present. I know that a lot of people are concerned with you know, some of the out-of-towners coming through a little too fast, so just trying to communicate that with all the guys and trying to get some traffic stops in, so yeah, that's what we got.
awesome. Does anybody have any questions? All right, thanks for that update.
Yep, no problem.
All right, let's move on to the fire department.
Hi everyone, I'm Damian Frisbee, I'm the fire chief for Frenchtown Rural Fire, and just wanted to kind of start off with something that I passed out. Mineral County Department of Emergency Services is implementing their new Code Red system, which is a mass notification system in case of emergency. And the QR code or text way of signing up for it, I'd really recommend it for everybody. You'll get notifications for law enforcement emergencies. You'll get notification for fire emergencies when necessary. Now, this isn't going to notify you if there's a fire. It's not going to notify you if they've got something going on. It's going to notify you when we need to let you know that there's a shelter in place because of law enforcement, fire, hazmat, those kind of things, and evacuation. So these things are really important. You can sign up, you can take care of your profile online, everything else. I used this at my previous agency. It makes it really easy for us to get those notifications out to you guys quickly. So please sign up for those. On the fire side of things, we've really seen a slowdown with the good weather that we've got right now. So not too many fires, we are seeing an increase in medical aids and accidents, and most of our accidents are occurring on the freeways now. Not too many things here in town have come up over the last couple of months. We had a couple of fires on the outskirts, across the road, those kind of things, but not too much going on here in town. Especially since Nancy saved our butts last time in getting that fire taken care of. So please look at the mitigation program if you are at all interested in dealing with fuels mitigation. Get on the list, because already it sounds like we've got about 18 to 20 people for next year, and that might be all we can take. So if you can at least get on it now, we can keep you there for any cancellations we get, or potentially pushing it for 27. It's hard to even think about. But it's become a really popular program. I'm hoping we can continue to fund it. It is through the state mitigation program, which gets federal monies. And so it's all dependent on that. But if you can do it, get it done. It's very worthwhile. Just a brief overview for people that don't know. We send in a mitigation crew to your property. We work through on what you would like to see done, as well as what we recommend for fuels mitigation, removing hazard trees, branches, those kind of things to make a healthier, more defensible space. Next year, it's also possible that some of the mitigation programs might include home hardening. Right now, Missoula County is the only one that's doing it, but you could see that here. Home hardening is basically a process where we bring in people to evaluate your home, give you ideas such as not having brush right up against your doors, your windows, your siding, and covering crawl spaces, those kind of things where embers can get in. What we're seeing on most of these big fires is the ember casting and the winds blowing the embers into portions of your home that you would just think, oh, it's probably not an issue. It really is. If you can think of just anywhere where a leaf or a pine needle can blow, embers can blow there. And so I'm sure you guys know what I mean when you look around the house after last few months here, especially when everything's shedding. So keep that in mind too. It's, again, right now only Missoula County is doing it, but we'll see if Mineral County starts offering that. Other than that, everything is going good. We're up to staffing. We've got 3 to 4 people out here at the station in Alberton that are living here while going through our resident program. So at most times, we've got 1 to 2 here while the other ones are on shift. And then you guys are really fortunate because you've got several really good people that live right here in town that volunteer and are paid staff. And so it's pretty proud of the people here in Alberton and how they take care of everything. Any questions from you guys?
I don't think so.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Garth Reedy up on Rose Hill. 2 things. Number 1, it was great to see the showing on Halloween. The guys had it open to get kids going. My grandkid really liked it, so that was pretty awesome.
It's a lot of fun for us too.
So that was good. And then number 2, regarding that mitigation, I have called and left my number and I haven't received a call back. I left it like 4 months ago.
Okay.
So I forgot about it until you just said it, so.
Okay.
What should a guy do now?
Can you send me an email? It's just send it to you, chief@frenchtownfire.org.
Perfect.
And I will take care of that and make sure that you're on the list to get you on there.
That'd be great.
Thank you. And I apologize for the not getting a call back. That's something I've been working on with our youngsters that don't always understand the importance of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, folks. Have a good night.
Thank you for that update. All right, so let's move on to, looks like we don't have any old business. So let's move on to new business. We got Jody here to request a new business approval. Wanna have the floor?
Yeah, I'm Jody Albert, and recently I recently bought 110 Adams Street, and we've been wondering it's commercial property. And so we're wondering what kind of a business to put in there, and so I've been trying to get input from different people you know, what Alberton needs, what would be best use for that. And, so a lot of people would say, well, why don't you just reopen a cannabis dispensary that used to be in there, just reopen it. And so, okay, well, that sounds like a pretty good use. And then possibly maybe a laundromat is one part of it. We were thinking about that, but we'd have to see if the, you know, the water treatment would handle that much water and that type of thing. But that's another idea, and then we don't have a feed store here in Alberton anymore, and so one part of it could be feed and hardware possibly. So anyway, it's gonna be kind of a multi-thing there that I'd like to get approval for, but probably starting with the cannabis dispensary. But that's gonna take a while to get licensed through the state and everything, so all this is gonna take, you know, steps. And the laundromat, it's gonna take quite a bit of work to get that going too. So it's kind of a long-term thing. And so anyway, I'd just like to throw that out to you and get approval for it.
Okay. Does council have any comments? Okay.
I do, I think some of his ideas are really, really good. I don't know if we need a dispensary, but, yeah, I think some of your ideas are really good, and thank you for coming and asking for ideas. Because I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, I think it's important.
That corner right there is,
Well, it was quite a mess for a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah.
We got it all cleaned up and looking good now, pretty good.
I noticed that, yes.
And, yeah, it's time to figure out what we're gonna do, what would be best in there. Maybe a bakery too, but, you know, something, just throwing that in there too.
Okay, thank you for coming forward
Yeah.
with some ideas.
Do we have any public comment before council decides to approve these ideas? Yes, Bob.
Bob Summerfield with Brovold Orchard. Just a question, would your dispensary involve a grow operation also?
Possibly. I'd like to get approval for it, even though we're probably not going to for a while, because I've never grown before. And so I would have to get people that knew how to grow or whatever in there to do it. And it'd be a real small portion of it, I think, if we did do it.
So my only comment would be when there was an operation there in the past, we just upslope at Brovold Orchard frequently had an overwhelming aroma. That was not
above you.
That was not a very good thing with little kids running around up there and stuff. So I would oppose any kind of a grow operation.
Any other public comment? Yes, Lynn?
I was curious for
Yeah, state your
the Serene Faucet, if it's a laundromat, the parking required for something like that, or feed store, bakery, and if there's adequate space there, because isn't part of it also right-of-way property?
Yes.
So,
State, that whole corner is state.
yeah,
State land.
Okay.
We might have to talk to them and use some of that for parking, get approval from them to do it. There'd be several steps we'd have to go through to probably make enough parking for a laundromat and different things there. But yeah, we'd have to get approval for it, from the state, that one chunk on the end,
right.
from the state.
Well, it sounds like you're looking at all aspects.
Yeah, I
That's good.
understand this, yeah.
Right.
All right, any, Garth?
Yeah, Joey, how are you? Long time no see.
Yeah.
You know,
State your name for me real
you know
quick,
when
Garth.
Oh, Garth Reeby, what?
Just state your name for me.
Garth Reeby, Rose Hill Lane, right above the old operation that I smelled all the time too. So you might wanna check up, what is the gulch up here at the end of town? Everybody knows what it used to be called, but it's West Mountain Gulch. There's a grow operation up there already.
What was it?
So
It's
you might wanna
not-
talk to those guys about how to do that. I mean, being a propane salesman, I don't mind selling propane for it, but, I mean, we've got, 51 dispensaries in Missoula County.
I know, it's
You
crazy.
know, and I'm like, when you said, I'm thinking of some ideas, I'm going, oh, please not be a dispensary. That's the first thing you said, and I'm like, oh, crap. But, it's your property. But I just, yeah. Good luck with that.
Well, it might be good to buy from those guys that are up
Yeah,
Everyone Gulch it is now, West Mountain.
yeah, they're, right up there at the very end, just before you get into the other Brovold's place up there. There's a
Yeah.
great big greenhouse, can't miss it.
Yeah.
I can give you contact info if you need it. But, yeah, the laundromat, I mean, you've got a lot of space there for parking that could be made into park.
Yeah, I think so.
But, yeah, we need a deli, man.
Deli would be nice too, that's a good idea.
So, anyway,
Yeah, well, we're just looking at all different things, it's really a neat piece of property, it's
Yeah.
unique. And it's zone commercial, and so just trying to figure out what would be the best use for it. And,
A little comfort soup for the edge.
yeah, but it was good to hear that you were the one that purchased the place,
yeah,
so.
thank you.
That's all I
All
have.
right, and then Samantha?
Hi, my name's Samantha Walk. I live on Rose Hill Lane, right below Garth, and above your property on the corner, where there's the new built studio. That studio is built as an art studio, and eventually we want the little side to be a little gallery space for people to come view art and maybe offer classes one day. But I'm a mom. I have a 6-year-old. I am not against marijuana, but I would not want a dispensary below our house. I think that Alberton needs food, organic, good food, like actually nice, healthy food. And Kavita had really good ideas for that space. She may be a good person to talk to about those ideas. Also, I'm a part of Peak. We would invite you to come to talk with us about potential ideas and brainstorm together of what the town needs and what kids need.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts.
Any other public comment? All right, does council want to motion to approve for Jody to work on a new business or
Well, the property is already zoned commercial,
commercial? Yeah.
so until he really decides what he's gonna do, I don't think we need to approve anything.
Yeah, yeah, I think as long as, like, if it's permittable, it's your property that's commercially zoned, so you can.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah,
But it's really considerate of you to come and get our
I
thoughts
wanna
and
get
input.
you guys'
and-
input.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, thanks for giving us all those ideas. All right, well then let's move on to, so we don't need to move on to the approval because that might get put into.
At this
Okay,
time.
So that one is being tabled for now. Let's move on to the amendment for the Alberton ordinance 2-1-7 for the salary of the town clerk treasurer. And since this is regarding employees, staff applications.
All clear.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and read that resolution for the amendment of the Alberton ordinance, and this will be the first reading. A resolution to add an addendum to ordinance. Whereas the town of Alberton ordinance 2-1-7 states that the clerk treasurer shall be paid monthly salary as provided annually by resolution. Whereas the town has been paying the prior town clerk treasurers by hourly pay rate, which has been approved by town council at each meeting. Whereas switching the town clerk treasurer back to salary would be detrimental to the town because of financial and legal consequences resulting from this change. Whereas it is the intent of the council to add an addendum number 2-1-10 to qualifications, duties, and salaries, chapter 2-1. Now therefore it be resolved, the town council of Alberton, Montana adopts the following. The town clerk treasurer shall be paid hourly compensation. Do I have any comments from council?
I do. I have a comment. First off, I wanna apologize to everybody because, we really failed in hiring of Tina because we were the town council, we approved her, employment. And we failed to look at 2-1-7 where it says that the town clerk is supposed to be salary. We failed. I failed. I was part of that town council. Okay, then we hired Leslie. Same exact thing happened. We did not check, and it was an ordinance. It's an ordinance, so it's a law. And she was supposed to be paid salary. But the town council failed in looking at that. And so now we are faced with Nancy's because we failed as town council. But it also says in this book, and I have a copy of it, that says that the town council is supposed to hire the town clerk. We are in charge of hiring the town clerk. We did not have anything to do with Nancy being hired. But that was our failure. I apologize, I am so sorry. And I'm praying that I will have more insight in this if I get reelected. I don't know if I'm reelected. But it was, and I apologize to the town because that was a failure of the town council. I'm only apologizing for myself. I'm not apologizing for anybody else. We did hire Tina at an hourly wage. We did hire Leslie as an hourly wage, but we didn't look at the ordinances that says they're supposed to be salary. So that's all I have to say.
What does the ordinance say about because NMIA is the one who came and told us that council does not hire.
This is the ordinance. And it's only supposed to be changed by resolution. Salary.
Oh, that's the salary. I thought you meant like doing the hiring.
Oh, that is in here too. It says that the mayor, on section 4. And I apologize. That was an error we should have.
What book is this on?
This one. And it's out of the town council's handbook.
So I have a question.
Okay, I haven't opened up the public comment yet. Just give me a minute.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just, the MMIA and League of City and Towns are the ones that told us that, because we thought it was that way, and then they corrected us and told us that it was. I'll have to look into that more. Any other comment from council? Okay. Do I have any public comment? Yes, Kim.
Kim Garding, resident of Alberton. And I just want clarification, an amendment is to change an ordinance? Is that what that is?
Yes.
We're changing an ordinance to avoid a lawsuit? Is that what the whole
We
point?
are, I mean, it could open up a lawsuit if we moved her back to salary, yes. Because she could be being paid less than minimum wage and giving her a deduction.
So we're being held hostage? Okay, thank you.
Let's move this way.
Lorraine Fostet, I think that this is a loaded situation with town council and the town clerk, and time is needed in which to look into this for the legal ramifications and not to open this up any further to lawsuit. My understanding is that Nancy was hired under a contract because I was at that meeting, the raise meeting where it was discussed and the 2-page document that was prepared was read at that meeting. I understood that time period when Nancy was first hired was probationary. And then at that point, it was hourly during the probationary time period, to then switch to be salary, which would follow the ordinance, and we wouldn't have to be changing an ordinance that is the true precedence, because Diane was paid salary. Both Leslie and Tina were then also construed to be probationary. Because in the last 3 years, we've had 3 clerks. That would be probationary period.
No, so we've never had it where it went from hourly to salary after a probationary period. We never had that in the contract.
It wouldn't be a contract. The contract would end, and then now the clerk would be paid.
But we're past the probationary period. And we were past the probationary period with Leslie as well, and she's continued to be
So the
hourly.
probationary period is continuing on until this is settled, though. Is that not correct?
No, I mean probationary period for the clerk is 6 months.
And
So
can be
after that
extended
is,
an additional 6 months.
the clerk has been with us, he's been with us for a year now.
Over a year.
Over a year.
So it just seems like it's a rather complicated issue, and we need to take some time and be sure that we look into all the details.
Yeah, I can take that into consideration.
I'm not proposing that she changes because we already approved Tina and Leslie as hourly.
Right.
I'm not proposing to change that. I mean, and not because we're getting threatened with a lawsuit that we could be sued. I'm not going there, but I'm saying that we as a town council failed, and that's my big point. We should have looked into it more, and this problem wouldn't have arisen. It really wouldn't have. So, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, next public comment?
Shannon, I am trying to understand, what is opening you up to a lawsuit?
So if there was so she's being paid hourly, if she goes back to salary, and if she's working, see, how does it work? To where it would end up like some hours that she works could be less than minimum wage by the federal. And so if she ends up having to work a certain amount of hours that makes that salary wage less than minimum wage, that can open up a lawsuit for us.
You can't.
Because it would be.
Well, in any job, there's certain hours that you work. I'm assuming that's kind of the same thing for the town clerk, is there's certain hours?
But sometimes when there's extra things that have to be done or projects that she has to work on, I mean, she's wearing many hats. She's doing a lot of things. And
how did they deal with that before?
It all started salary, and I'm not 100% sure because right when I became mayor was as Diane was leaving, so. That was.
Chris, can you?
Yep.
How come there's always explanations of how things are done that make no sense to anybody in the room? And that's all we want is clarification. It doesn't make any sense to me. Excuse me?
So we had prepared a statement like that went into everything that we read at the special meeting, that we had defining everything, but we've also been getting, guidance from the human resource from MMIA, who looks over us as a town, and the League of City of Towns, and they've helped us and guided us with learning more because, all of us were kind of new to this and through this term, and they've been giving us more training and teaching us more of how to run this and do things that we're supposed to be doing them. And that's why we've been slowly working on trying to update the ordinance book as well, because there's some things that don't coincide with the Montana.
So when you guys are making decisions regarding this town, you don't have any legal playbook to go off of, to follow? How governments govern, they follow the same playbook, state or federal, and those gives you the guidelines in to which run the town? Those don't exist here? It seems like everyone's confused all the time. It doesn't feel like there's any leadership where it's like, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, this is how we do it, because this is the law. It's never that. It's always, well, we've kind of been doing it for years, and it's kind of how we've always been doing it. It's like, well, that's fine, but if you've been doing it wrong for years, and there's a legal way of doing it, how comes nobody can present the legal way of doing it and then follow that legal way?
And that's why, as I've been learning, that we've been trying to correct the ways that haven't been done legally and do them legally now. So we're trying to go the right path and do everything by the book. Do I have any other public comment? Yes.
Go ahead, Karen.
Karen Ruby up Rose Hill. I want to speak to this because we've been here for quite a while in this town. And I want to commend the council here because when we were here before, when, I won't agree anybody's name, but another mayor was here, there was a lot of things that you guys have picked up, that you have done a wonderful job with. So just a little grace there for you as you're learning, because we all learn our roles we're in. I want to thank you. So, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yes, Garth?
Garth Rosehill. Speaking of like a government employee, which, you know, she is technically. Now, a government employee that gets paid salary, works X amount of hours, you know, 8 to 5, yada, yada. But if they work over, they receive a comp time, or what is the other term?
OT, overtime.
Overtime. So there is an option that they get the salary, but if they work those extra hours, being a government employee, they can get, the has time is like paid time off, right? They earn it, so they go, okay, instead of gaining that money, I'm gonna bank it for vacation, right? Or they can say, I want the overtime. I mean, isn't that a possibility to do?
I don't think, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
How would you do, Kim Garding, town resident, how would you do, at what wage would you do an overtime pay? He's looking at me, I know. So I'm salaried, it depends, it's different, but I work for, I'm a federal government employee, so right now I take care of our veterans, everybody, my name's Carrie. I work at the VA, and so we have tour time. When our tour time is based on that, then afterwards it goes to OT or comp time. That's what he's referring to.
Okay, see, and yeah, we're not like
So it's
government employee, yeah, we're state.
That's what I,
Yeah.
Okay,
and so
okay.
he's trying to understand.
I was just trying to think that's, cause she does a lot of
Right.
overtime or comp time, and she gets compensated for it, even though it's past the tour. I didn't know if there was that option
Yeah.
in the city government
You can still
to
get it.
cover her for that extra time that she works. Past, you know, above and beyond the salary.
And then another thing too is like, okay, she's been paid this and she goes into salary, that could bring it to a lesser wage, which she's
And,
never
you know,
been reprimanded for anything, and then demoting her like that also opens up a unnecessary can of worms. Yes, Lorraine?
Lorraine Costa, I was at the meeting regarding the raise, and you're stating that there was no reprimand. There also was no review done proper. So I'd like to make it clear to everyone here, the code is not being followed in terms of the duties of the clerk and then how she is reviewed would be in an employee handbook. You stated at that meeting she didn't get a review because she required 6 months' notice for that. Well, that 6 months' notice would have happened at the time of hiring when the employee handbook was received. That's where that 6 months is spelled out. Is that not correct?
When I looked into it, I have to notify them myself as giving them a 6-month notice of a review.
Which should have happened when the handbook was given. And the handbook was read and said, oh, in 6 months, I should expect a review. So there was no review. There was no recommendation for hiring her. Procedures have not been followed. This is not copacetic.
We follow procedures upon hiring, yes. I went through all the guidance of the MMIA
I beg to
and they
differ.
helped. But, alright. We will, any other public comment? Alright. Does council wanna make a motion on this resolution?
Needs to be a second reading.
Yes, this is the first reading, and then there will be a second reading next month if this first reading is approved. And open up to, public comment again next month.
I'll make a motion.
To approve the resolution. Okay, I have a first, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Alright, all in favor?
You don't have a quorum.
Yeah, there is no quorum.
You don't have a quorum because I'm excluded, yeah. Kyle isn't here.
Do you count in that case or no?
I am allowed to decide. I'm allowed to make, I cannot make a quorum for a whole meeting, but like if there's a disagreement, I can decide, do a tie vote.
Okay, so we have to wait till next month regardless because Kyle's in here.
Yeah, so, that is true. So let's go ahead and move this to next month when we have a quorum for the first reading. All right, let's move on to clerk notes. Any clerk notes?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Do I have any public comment or anything else not on the agenda? Yes, Kim?
Kim Garding, town of Alberton resident, and I cook at Senior Citizen Center. I would like clarification on what I was going to be. I assumed that when the cops are called on me, it's to be arrested. And if that's the case, I want clarification on what I was gonna be arrested for. For all I can tell was that I had interrupted an illegal private meeting. And so, what was I gonna be arrested for? Chris and I gonna be arrested for?
We did not say you were gonna be arrested, we were gonna call the cops because you guys were shouting above us while we were in the middle of a private meeting.
No, we weren't.
No, we weren't.
No, we weren't.
We were trying, we're,
No, we weren't.
okay.
We were
Okay,
explaining.
whatever.
I was trying to
But
talk
why
to
did-
you.
Why did we call the cops? Is it an
Never did.
intimidation tactic?
Never did.
or-
You can't trust.
We never
us
called
in
the
this
cops.
building.
We don't wanna call the cops for cats. We wanna call the cops because I'm in my kitchen.
And we never called the cops, and this is, we were in a private meeting, we had the space on our calendar.
It was an illegal meeting. But that
It was
doesn't
not
matter.
an illegal meeting.
Anything that has to do with town business is.
We have the MMIA in here doing a training meeting with myself and Charlie. It is not an illegal meeting.
Okay. So. And what is it called?
I don't know.
Falsifying police report, okay.
We never called the police, so.
She was on the phone. She said,
No.
I'm calling the police.
What would be the purpose of threatening to call the police on somebody you've never met walking in to volunteer to make lunch for the seniors? How could that conversation have gotten so out of control that your only recourse is to have Nancy threaten to call the police several
I did not have
times?
anybody do anything.
Until I told her to relax.
Okay,
calm
that is
down.
enough. This is exactly,
Yeah, you're right, it is.
But it's intimidation.
and so is him raising his voice to us like that is intimidation.
He's passionate.
But we're not gonna argue about this.
Can I?
We're here for public comment about town business, not about an incident that happened.
I have
A comment.
Again,
Yes.
my name is Shannon Cuneo. My comment is that whole problem stemmed from not having a schedule posted in the building
that the schedule is about.
The schedule
It's
is
over
posted
in
at,
the town hall, or whatever you guys wanna call it, the town office, which isn't open all the time, we don't have access to it. Apparently, when Kim went over there to get access to the schedule, the cops were called on her once.
that's
So-
a different situation.
Well, the problem is, we need the schedule for the building, we need to know who it is that's in here so that everybody knows who's been in the kitchen. Because that right there opens you up to problems. If, let's say somebody doesn't close the kitchen properly, doesn't sanitize it properly, and then these guys come in here to cook the next day, and next thing you know, half the seniors in town have food poisoning.
And you don't know where they got it, because there's no calendar in the building telling you who was using it.
There's no way to track.
It's
But
just common
Just,
sense.
We have-
the calendar's in the office.
If there is, if there,
Please,
if there is one room
okay.
in a village or a community that
The
is
clerk
used
is
by
trying
every,
to talk
I'm
and
not
you're
raising
raising
my
your voice
voice.
above, you're talking above us.
I'm not raising my
Let the clerk
voice.
talk and say her piece.
Why can't he talk without?
Well, one,
being
you guys are
interrupted?
having a conversation and nobody's waiting for me to
Okay,
call
whatever.
public comment again and stating their names. My clerk is trying to talk and explain, and you guys are talking above her. So could you please let my clerk talk?
All I wanted to say is that the calendar for the rentals for the community center is available in normal business hours in the office at any time anybody wants to come in. It's not being kept from anybody. Anybody can come in and look at it. It's always been on the wall. It's just in a book right there too.
We get it online at least?
No.
See, that's the problem, is your hours don't coincide with the hours here. And that's the
It does.
issue, is, like the Monday meeting, well, who knew? Because we don't have access to the.
You
the
do
Zoom
have
signs
access.
Posted out.
On your hours. It's
On
not,
normal-
it's
I'm
not
not
9 to
gonna
5
do it. I'm
Monday
not
through
gonna
Friday, that we have
It's
access
9 to
to
3,
it.
Monday through Thursday.
Well,
My-
apparently
my-
it's
my only-
not.
My only question is, where is the absolute loss of common sense with a room full of adults when you have one room in the community that is shared by every single person in the town? One room. So the obvious place to put the schedule, so everyone in the town knows what's going on in the one room that we share, that calendar would be in this building, and the responsibility would be on the people that are in this building to manage it. It's
No.
just
It is-
common
That's
sense.
not true.
It is the town clerk's responsibility to manage this building.
Well,
This-
we do
And
have a
the book
lease.
is to her, no,
The
there's no
seniors
lease.
have a lease here. There is a rental agreement. It doesn't say that the rental agreement is no longer in effect after a certain day. There is a rental agreement. It might be old, but it's
There's
still
a
there.
difference with a rental agreement at least, but we'll look into that.
And why wouldn't there
And
be a
we'll look,
lease?
and we'll look into that.
Why isn't
You're
there a lease? It doesn't make any sense. Why isn't there a lease for the number one
We
community?
have brought it to our attorney to make up and we have not got one back from him.
And that's good enough.
We're still trying to get one done.
And are we on, what month are we
Okay.
on? Or what
But
year?
we will look into this. We will do it with our attorney and figure it out with our attorneys.
Well, the senior center also needs to be involved then because they are the other side of that lease. So it needs to be between the senior center and the town of Alberton, and if the attorney needs to get added into
We
that,
will
that's
look into
fine.
it.
In
Do
the
it.
meantime, we'd like to have the schedule posted, either I'm in the building or we'd like to have it online, so everybody has access at all times.
We'll see what we can do. Do I have any other public comment? Yes, Bob.
Bob Summerfield with Bear Smart Alberton. On a happier note, I would like to update you on the bear-resistant garbage can purchases. So we have an order placed for 87 garbage cans. The order has been in for a couple weeks now. I don't know when they'll get here, hopefully before the month is out, I'm hoping. When they do get here, they will be placed on the north side of Railroad Avenue. Republic will put them out and also remove the old cans. We will be doing extensive public outreach before they're put out. Republic is going to put out a flyer in their billings. We're going to be going door to door. We're going to post notices on both Bear Smart and the community Facebook sites. We'll put out a notice on the Bear Smart email list, and I would like to also have a notice put on the town website. We'll provide the language for that. If I could send that to you, Nancy, if you could put that on, that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
We have an application in for additional grant funds. It'll be some time before we hear about that, but our intention is if we get those grant funds, we will order more garbage cans for Alberton. The ultimate goal is to provide garbage cans for the entire town of Alberton that are bear-resistant cans in our pursuit of making Alberton a bear-smart community. So, any questions on that?
Could we opt out, Karen Willhart from the bookstore, could we opt out if we've never had trouble with our trash can in 50 years? I don't want a Bear Smart can. I have 2 cans, the neighbors and mine, in an enclosed yard on the side of the bookstore. And there are never bears in there, and I don't want the hassle of one more thing.
Why don't you want one?
Because I've opened and closed Bear Smart cans, and I don't want a Bear Smart can.
So these cans that we're providing are different, they're made by a different company. They're very simple to operate. There's just a latch on the front that you pinch and you open the lid. That's all there is to it. If you wanted to be exempted from that, you'd need to talk with Republic and see if they would be willing to do that. The other thing I meant to mention is there's no additional charge for these cans. They're the same price as the cans that people have right now. So.
Thank you for that update.
Sure.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, do I have any
Yes, last public comment, Lorraine Felstead. I have concerns the council is not complying with Montana Code Annotated 2-3-214, which for the life of the history of the state and that being passed says that we are to have recorded meetings. On July 1st of 2024, House Bill 393 amended that it didn't need to be video recording, that audio was adequate, and that rather than having 24 hours to post, there are 14 days in which to post. It was announced at the August meeting, it would be the first meeting ever that there would be a recorded meeting. In September, it was reported, this will be the first meeting that we will record. None of those recordings have been able to be found on the website where it's dictated in House Bill 393 that they be posted on our website, a link to that recording. When will we be brought in?
They are on the website under the minutes page.
And there is a
they are
link?
under, they are there. We have a YouTube page that has all the recordings that started October 1st was when the law was that when we had to comply by the law was October 1st. So the other ones we did say were practice rounds, and September was practice, just to get a practice for the recording and everything else. And then we have all the October ones are listed on the website.
Once again, I beg to differ. House Bill 393 was passed on July 1st of 2024.
And did it say when it goes into effect?
Right. It was
On
passed.
July 1st of 2024.
It was passed, but it goes
went
into
law.
It
Yes.
was passed July 1st, but didn't go into effect until
I
October.
don't have a copy of it here, but, okay. I beg to differ. Thank you.
Yes, Sam.
Hi, Samantha Walk-Peak. I am really excited to tell you all about the holiday season in Alberton. And I think we can see at this council meeting tonight that it's a really important time for us to all come together and work together for something really special. and beautiful. We have a small town and we get to make it exactly what we want. And so Peak is planning a bunch of different events. We have tons of lights, thousands of dollars of Christmas lights that we got through Montana Mental Health. They're on my porch right now in boxes. We have a storage unit, and Marvin is hopefully going to let us use some space to store those lights, or whoever. And so November 23rd, from 1 until 3, we're looking for volunteers to help come and hang the lights in the park. Jeremiah plans to climb the 50-foot pine tree and put lights on himself. We would really like to find a Blackfoot or someone we don't have to pay with a lift to do that. Northwestern, he works for, that it's not going to happen, it sounds like. But yes, that's the plan. And we're looking for volunteers also. That same day you enter our lights contest. Jeremiah is offering $250 from his own pocket to the best decorated house in town, to encourage you to decorate your house for the season. November 29th, we have the PTSA is putting on a craft fair at the school. And also that same day from 5 until 7, we're going to do our big holiday lights reveal with the tree lighting. We're going to have the group giving tree launch, which you can take a tag and buy a family that need a gift for their kid, for them. And there's the community potluck, which I think is something that has happened in the past. Whoever knows about that, I would love to hear more about that. And is that you, Kim?
I've not heard of this.
No, not the community potluck. Is that Helping Hands or?
No, it's always been a community potluck through Peak, where when we come to do the light reveal and everything, everybody brought their own dish for everybody to share.
Okay, yeah, so please come to that, bring a dish to share. What else is happening? November 30th, we have a holiday craft workshop with everything's free, ornament making, letters to Santa, holiday card making, tons of different crafts. December 3rd, there's a wreath making workshop with Crescent Ridge Farm. That is not free, and you can sign up through their website. December 14th, there's gingerbread houses at the school. All the supplies are provided through PTSA. December 16th, there's a cozy holiday story time in the library. There's story time is back, and so please bring your young kiddos to that. Grace Pryor is the one that's reading for those. And December 20th, we have our big holiday celebration. Santa will be here. It's from 4 until 6. We're looking for carolers. I did reach out to the Bible school. Doesn't sound like that's possible.
Sorry, we're all gone.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're trying to put together some students that are into singing and may do the caroling. We also are looking for sleigh rides. That's not happening, but if somebody knows of somebody for sleigh rides, we're gonna have hot cocoa. The holiday lights winner will be announced, and there's a holiday market where artists who make woodcut block prints will be selling our prints here. Kavita will be selling her honey, and whoever else wants to sell whatever you make, come and sell your things. It's free, and I think that's everything. Does anybody have any questions or want to contribute ideas?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful idea, and thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have a flyer with all that on?
Yeah, I can give you this one. You want this one?
Is it the last one? Should I make it?
Well, this is, and we're good at working on marketing. So this is not, I don't feel comfortable as this being our launch flyer, but this is the best we have right now. I know, I learned that. What do you brought us?
This looks great. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, yeah, and then we have like all of our lights, which we have a lot. Very excited, and I really want you all to come. Please come. Thank you. And yeah, there's no age that's like, we want all ages. It's not just for the kids, but yeah.
Where are all these events gonna take place?
Here, the community.
Is it on the calendar?
It is. Yeah, Anna has been a part of these plans, and Nancy knows, Charlie knows, Marvin knows, actually.
Are there gonna be flyers, given dates?
Yes, this one is on Facebook already.
Okay.
On the main page, we have shared this. Yeah, so there, we'll print more and hang them around wherever you think. But yeah, the park, and so the big pine tree in the middle is the one that will be decorated. And then out here, which we should talk about the train and what decorations we already have. I bought a wreath from Betsy, that goes to the hunting club. Betsy, she just posted on Facebook, so that I got for the community center. I thought that could be nice to hang there. And, yeah.
Awesome. I love that you're decorating our town.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be fun. We need more spirit around than, yeah, I think more than ever, we need to gathering and community.
Do we have any other public comment? Alright, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I'm
Meeting adjourned at 8:35 PM.
Feet in.